We can go up here and I'll let you know when we're going to go.
Gathering close with rabbis because I want to stay in the lesson of the equivalence.
So, like so many people are mourning today, the mourners today. So we pay extra special attention to you as this community come together to comfort you and to remember, to also inspire your own memories as well that you may carry forward with you. One symbolic indication that you are future mourners that you're working about your family now. And it's accustomed to tear a piece of Catholic indicate that someone very special has been removed from you, removed from this world. This is something that I'm never told to repair. Thanks to you, you've done that very well. I was also thinking that it's true as well that a garment where it's meant to bone, where it feels is also a promise. So the ways that you will also move forward to use us from these moments, your name is stronger because someone so to you was such an important part of the most the torn ribbon it can represent both loss but also that coming from some feeling moving forward. It's just being a better place and a better destiny, a better world, better lives because you're not there's a blessing that we say in these moments that declares God to be the true judge, author of our truth. This is the truth that you face today. We're really supported by each other, by another, by his friends, with you. So if you wish to join in with me, the blessing starts at our Jewish blessings, give the glory. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam dayan ha'emet. Take hold of the bottom of the ribbon, just tear it up along if you can, if you can help each other. So the universe who is the one true judge. I always said, and I thought about how patient you are.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we begin our services, if we can please kindly turn off all cell phones or electronic devices, or please place them on silent. Thank you. First of all, I wish everyone a good morning despite the circumstances that bring us together, and also a first word of gratitude to everyone who has made themselves available to be present here in this very sacred place. My name is Rabbi David Englander. For those I haven't met yet, relatively new to Congregation Bethel, and it has been such an honor to meet families who have expressed long-term generational dedication to this wonderful congregation, and Larry and his beloved family certainly represent that sense of long-term dedication and commitment. What an honor it was to learn about Larry's life through those who knew him the best and who also loved him the most, which is saying something because Larry was loved by so very many people for his kindness, his helpfulness, his overall friendliness. He was a good guy in a world that needs more good guys. And this is a world that is so much better because he was here. I learned also that Larry was also always on time for shul. which is something, I know this will come as a great surprise, that I can identify with and also respect. So he was always in his seat at Bethel for the Torah reading, and this week he would have heard, as we all will, one of the blessings that was promised to the Israelites when they chose to uphold the terms of the covenant, terms that we call mitzvot, or even living the kinds of lives that the Holy One expects us to strive toward. Baruch atah b'voecha, u'baruch atah b'tzeitecha. Blessed will you be when you come in, and blessed will you be when you go out. The blessing of Larry Katz was felt from his earliest days, and it did not fade. He was a blessing from the moment he came into this world. Now that his earthly journey is concluded and he leaves it, he remains a blessing to all who knew and loved and appreciated him, and his memory will always be just that, a great blessing. Privileged to co-officiate today with our Chazan, Elisa Pomerantz-Boro, and with our newly appointed Rabbi Emeritus, great friend of Larry, both great friends of Larry, Rabbi Eric Krupnik. Our Chazan leads us in Psalm 23, together with Cantor Leon Sher.
Adonai roi l'echsar binot asher b'tzeni alamei meluchot Nafshi shaveh And Larry's solo for many, many years with our choir. So if you're in the choir, please join us. Lishma Erina Larry will always be singing with the angels.
Thank you, Cantor Sher, Hazan. It was as beautiful a version of the 23rd Psalm as I have ever heard. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. God guides me on paths of righteousness. God revives my soul for the sake of his glory. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no harm, for you are with me. Your staff and your rod do comfort me. You set a table in the sight of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall abide in the house of the Lord forever. Good people, it is with heavy hearts that we come together today to pay tribute to the memory of our dear friend, my dear friend, Larry Katz. It was Plato, long ago, who said, "Every heart sings a song incomplete until another heart whispers back. Those who wish to sing always find a song." And though they lived millennia apart, the great philosopher could have been talking about Larry Katz. He always had a song in his heart. Today, we come together to recall the sweet melodies that linger on, to give comfort to those whose hearts whispered back in response. His life was complete because of you. Larry's parents, David and I, raised two children in the Jewish Camden of old. And his older sister, Gloria, bless her memory, he and his sister were always close, although I suspect that Gloria did not always appreciate how close they were, because Sherry and Mark, Gloria's children, will remember the stories of how Gloria had to take her little brother not only to the movies but out on dates. And apparently she had plenty of them, but Larry stayed a little bit too close when the boys came home, with his big sister jumping out from behind the sofa at inopportune moments. It's hard to imagine, but he was quite a bandit in his younger years. But I know that Gloria and Alan and the entire family were always such an important part of Larry's family. I hope that the memories of all of the good times shared are a source of comfort. Some of you here have remained Larry's friends from childhood. You grew up together in Camden. Tula, you did not grow up in Camden. You were from Trenton. But because Larry was so involved in Jewish community, you met him early on through BBG. Larry sang to your mother in Yiddish, and she loved it. More importantly, you have remained dedicated and a steadfast friend, both to Larry and to Ruthie throughout all of these years. And I know that your rock-steady support for this family has meant so much to them, especially in these challenging times. Indeed, it was at BBG sock hop at the JCC where you first laid eyes, Ruth, on the man with a blonde crew cut, electric blue eyes, and a beautiful smile. Larry was acting as a sort of chaperone that night. He asked you to go for a walk together in the parking lot since he was on duty, and right away you could tell that this was a gentleman. Sensitive, caring, kind of an old school sort of guy. And as they say, when you know, you know, and Larry Katz knew. And he said to you that night, you know, I'm going to marry you someday. And you said, well, maybe we should do a first date. But when you know, you know. And even if at that moment you couldn't believe it, when you found out that you shared the same birthday as Larry, you knew that you had found your Bashert. And so it was on November 6, 1966, that the two of you were married downstairs in the Wedgwood room of the Shell Run by Rabbi Kelman. I remember this because I renewed your vows back in 2008, and we talked about it. And Larry sang to you under the chuppah, Kala Kala. And on that day, this true partnership was born. There has only been one love for Larry and for you, and you have shared your hearts together. Ruth, you heard last night how your children spoke about the love that they were privileged to see their parents share. And I know Paul will speak about it soon, but both you and Andy, you saw your parents' marriage as the paradigm of what married life can really look like. The little things that they did to show affection for one another reinforced that sense of love in your home on a daily basis. And that was not only, by the way, apparent to the two of you, but to all of us who ever saw your mom and dad together. And Andy and Bola, you were blessed to have a totally hands-on dad who was into your activities and there to support you every step of the way. He was genuine and available. Even though he was working 2 jobs, he always managed to find good time, quality time with you. He wanted to know what was going on in your lives then, now, and always. And you wanted to share his world because of the deep love and respect that you've always had for your dad. So whether it was talking about sports or debriefing about this game or this show, or just simply talking family lore, the stories, Paula, you know by heart, going to see the places that are part of your family history, these were things that were not only important to your dad, but important because they gave you quality time together with him. He was so very, very proud of both of you and the lives that you have made for yourself and the families that you have made. He was so proud to be a Zeta, Ethan, Emma, to the two of you, to Riley and to little Darren. And Zeta loved nothing more than the visits. When he couldn't see you physically, he loved the Zooming and the phone calls and the FaceTime that he had with you. I suspect that he did that same Donald Duck voice that I had heard him do so many times over the years. I'm sure it made you smile every time, just like it has all of us. You know, being a Zeta, being a grandfather, kept your Zeta young. And I really, too, believe that you added years to his life, knowing that the next generation was strong and proud. And Aaron, I know that you'll speak in just a moment. But Larry was so grateful, so very grateful for the joy that you brought into his son's life. And he saw you like a daughter. And I know that you felt the same way. And that just little things with Aaron meant so much to him. And to see this precious little girl just stealing the remote just made your father and father-in-law so very, very happy. Ruth, the two of you raised your kids on Sheffield Drive, which put you close to Bethel. And Larry Katz was as much a blessing to Bethel as Bethel was a blessing to Larry. Not only, of course, to Larry singing in the choir and to hear the whole choir who is here now singing is a great honor to your husband and a source of comfort to all of us. Not only did Larry serve in the choir, but on countless number of committees throughout the years. He was also president of the men's club, and probably had he wanted to be president of the synagogue, but he never wanted to be president of the shul. He just wanted to serve on the committees where he was needed, because that way there was no end to his term. And he could be involved again and again and again. And so he and you started and stay active in Bethel since the day that you joined decades and decades ago. And indeed, all of us at Bethel mourn today because there was no one at Bethel who didn't like Larry Katz. He knew how to make people feel good. He knew how to make you smile. It was always easy talking to Larry. And even when his health was not the best, he made the effort to come to choir practice. Didn't matter how long it took him to walk down the hallway. He was going to be there to sing in the choir and to come to shul. He was Bethel through and through. And personally, I'm grateful for the close bond that I had with Larry throughout the years, and quite frankly, the bond that I have with you, Ruthie. This last year has not been an easy one for you, for Larry, for you, the rest of the family. But as always, you were there for him, as he was always there for you. The commitment you made to one another and to him is lifelong. But over the past 2 weeks, it became increasingly obvious that Larry was not long for this life, and so, most reluctantly, you prepared to say goodbye. And Larry entered hospice, but still, he did not want to leave you, always on his own terms. But finally, this past Friday afternoon, we gathered around the bedside for the vidui, for those final prayers. Yom Kippur, as many of us know, is an important part of Larry's annual routine, that holy day, and especially Neela at the end of shul. He had to be there. It was so important to him, because on that sacred day he could feel his soul being elevated. And I truly think that once Larry heard those words of Neela once again on Friday afternoon by his bedside, the Shema and the Baruch Shem Kavod, his heart, his soul elevated further, and he found release. And it was Shabbos for his soul. And the next day, when he got up at that same time that he always did, not physically, but spiritually, he made that decision. And he crossed that threshold from this world into the next. Plato was right. Every heart indeed sings a song that is incomplete until another heart whispers back. And I truly believe that, as Kazan said, in the world to come, Larry is now harmonizing with the Kadosh Baruch Hu, and he is indeed part of God's heavenly choir. And the songs that he sang will now forever whisper in your hearts. Fate has taken his physical presence, but nothing will ever lift him from your hearts. For all of us who remember this sweet, kind, and gentle man, we should carry those songs in our hearts and remember Larry always as a blessing. So we pray Tehei Nishmato, Tzur B'Tzur HaChaim, may his soul be bound in the bond of eternal life, and his name and memory be a source of inspiration in our hearts and our homes forever. Amen. We're going to hear today from Paula and then followed by you, Eric.
Good morning. So cool to see everybody here today. Anyone can be a father, but it takes someone special to be a dad. And our dad was indeed a special person. I called him Daddy. He was my world. When I think of my dad, this is what comes to mind. Funny, goofy, thoughtful, kind, knowledgeable, especially in space exploration, science, the weather, and Judaism. He could speak Donald Duck. He taught me how to sing. He taught me how to drive. He was a beautiful singer. He loved music. He introduced me to the Beach Boys, Neil Diamond, Andrew Lloyd Webber, especially Katz and Les Mis, and I can't forget the choir music. One year, Bethel Choir sang Abraham Kaplan's Sing Unto the Lord a New Song. He loved telling people how Andy, Mom, and I all learned the tenor section, the tenor part, to sing along with him. I can still sing it to this day. Our dad was involved in our lives. From Cub Scouts to baseball games to dance recitals to swimming and diving meets and many choir concerts. Not many fathers would participate in their daughters' dance recitals. Well, he was part of the father's dance during the Bowman School of Dance shows. Twice. When Hadassah had their holiday gift wrapping starting after Thanksgiving, Dad would step up and take care of Andy and me while Mom worked her shifts. I still remember those open-faced hot turkey sandwiches on white bread. It was a delicacy. Our dad loved to tease. So many inside jokes with various people. Here's a few to name a few. The Harveys, the ATs, the Breastkoffs, Yotam. To my friend Elise, whenever he would see her, he'd always say, "It's time to go to swim practice." To my friend Carrie, who disliked dogs, he would sing, "Kill the dog, kill the dog." To many of you, whenever the Eagles would win, he would say, "Never a doubt." And to me, whenever I really wanted something, I had to give the magic word, aardvark. Why aardvark, I do not know. I believe there's a lot of truth to astrological signs. Born on the same day, 4 years apart, Mom and Dad did have similar personalities. They are both very outgoing, social people who are welcoming to newcomers and who could start a conversation with anyone. But my dad always took a step back when it came to my mom. He let her be the one to shine. They had a beautiful marriage. They fought, they disagreed, but they always made up. They always remained a team. Rest in peace, Daddy. You may be gone, but you will never be forgotten. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming. The first time I met Larry was Thanksgiving of 2015 when Andy took me to New Jersey to meet his parents and spend the holiday with them. I was quite nervous because I had not had a normal holiday with parents and family in a long time, and I really wanted to make a good impression. The nervousness disappeared instantly once I met Larry. He was welcoming with these bright blue, soothing eyes and a warm smile. I felt comfortable and part of the family almost immediately, and found myself bonding with Larry over the shared love for Law and Order, SVU, Say Yes to the Dress, and all things related to the solar system. We spent evenings throughout the long weekend watching TV and laughing over our silly commentary, joking and connecting. I knew that I had gained a special person in my life when I felt homesick after we left their house to go back to Maryland. From that day on, Larry and I had a special connection, talking on the phone weekly when he would call me to wish me good Shabbos, which was originally just Andy's thing, but I knew I had become part of his world when he called me. We would debate whether USC or Notre Dame was the better football team. Obviously, it was USC. Fight on. We would share family stories and traditions and so much more. As Andy and I said our vows, I looked back at Larry and saw the light shining from his smile and the glow in his blue eyes, and I was proud that he was there with us. I gained a father who had genuine care for me and the family, was there to support me when I needed guidance, and made me feel the fatherly love that I had not had in years since my own had passed away. I learned the following from Larry. Embrace all of life, including all the little bumps, dips, and successes. It's all part of the adventure. Work hard to support your family, doing whatever it takes to make sure everyone is taken care of. Never forget where you come from and the family you have. It is the foundation of who you are. Always be humble and appreciative of what you have. It's not about how much or how big. It's about being happy with what you've got. Be a good person, give love and support, and be the strength for someone when they can't seem to find it in themselves. Every day when I look at our beautiful daughter Darren, with those same bright blue eyes as for Zeta, I see him smiling at us. I feel the warmth and love Larry had for family, and I know that he will continue on through the legacy that he left behind and the stories we share special times with him. Larry and Andy always called each other after every Eagles victory and said the following, never a doubt. Larry, I know that you will always be with us every day for every special moment, milestone, or celebration. There is never a doubt. Thank you.
Just want to note that Shiva will be held, of course, at Ruth and Larry's home. Services will take place at 7 o'clock each evening this week. The El Male Memorial Prayer will be recited next. In it, so as you reference Larry's Hebrew name, never just an individual's name, but son of parents from whom he came, linking the generations going back, and also reminding us that because of him, Jewish story continues and generations are linked one to the next going forward as well. Less commonly, Larry's priestly status will also be referenced as well, as this is also a very important aspect of the generations being linked all the way back to even biblical times. We believe and also affirm, and now going forward as well. This Kohen, this priest who we also come together to lay to rest today. Chazan chants the Amale. Those comfortable and able to do so, we ask you to please rise.
הכהן שהלך לעולמו בגן עדן תהא מנוחתו. אנא בעל הרחמים, אז תראה בסתר כנפיך לעולמים, וצרור בצרור חיים את נשמתו, אדוני הוא נחלתו, וינוח בשלום המשכבו, ונאמר
Amalei Rachamim, exalted, compassionate God, grant infinite rest in your sheltering presence among the holy and pure to the soul of Ari Leib ben Chaika ben David HaKohen, our beloved, respected Larry Katz, who has gone to his eternal home. Merciful one, we ask that our loved one find perfect peace in your eternal embrace. May his soul be bound up in the bond of life. May he rest in peace. And let us say, Amen. Invited to be seated for a few moments.
Would the pallbearers please step to the center aisle? If we can rise once more, please.
Akapai Nisu Kapentiko and Raka, Shaka,